Welcome to Two-Way for Today.
This is a tale of two signs. One of these signs will do far more to prevent mass incidents than the other. And this is long overdue. We've allowed covenant breakers in the Republican Party and the hate America Democrats to lead our country headlong into stupid. Their America-last strategy emphasizes policy experiments that erode liberty, create economic black holes, and desecrate our ability to secure ourselves. They've made our borders porous, our money's worthless, and our schools into shooting galleries. Their policy garbage needs to be abolished because it denies human nature and defies reality. 28-year-old Audrey Hale walked into a Christian school in Tennessee and she gunned down 3 9-year-olds and 3 staffers before she was fatally shot by police at 10:27 a.m., 14 minutes after they received a call about an active shooter. How many of those teachers could have stopped the shooter dead in her tracks before she was able to take any other lives? How many of those teachers may have wanted to be able to conceal carry and provide security to themselves and their students? But they were stopped by the lawless edicts of a government who's reached beyond the power enumerated to it. Gun-free zones are a distinct example of the kind of policy perversion that leads to the most vulnerable being made a prey. We've long been advocating for common sense gun laws, and one of them is to abolish the Gun-Free Zone Act, then arm and train teachers who qualify and are willing. Examples like this one.
At this parochial school in New Mexico, many of the teachers carry guns, just in case.
Show me your weapons and tell me what they are.
45, sir.
45?
I'm Assistant Pastor. This is a 45.
Yes, Director of Security, 45.
The pastor carries a 45 in a case that looks like a Bible. The principal is also armed with a .38 semi-automatic pistol.
How many of you feel safer knowing that your teacher has a gun? All of you.
Another massive issue in our culture is that poor mental health in children is not cured by the use of psychotropic drugs. Actually, the psychotropic drugs are a consistent feature in the lives of those who cross the wall of frustration and commit mass shootings. Couple that with testosterone and hormone therapies, that's a cocktail that is fit for destruction and disaster. It's time for our electeds, to stop clamoring for gun laws that will only make the vulnerable more vulnerable by stripping them of their ability to defend themselves and their neighbors. They need to have some citizen-involved commission to study the role that psychotropic drugs play in destabilizing inhibitors that enable people to separate fantasy from reality. I talked about some of these issues in one of my recent Two-Way for Today programs. So today, on Two-Way for Today, I'm going to replay a bit of that show for you all to share with your family and friends so that we can truly try to solve some of these issues. Sheila Matthews is co-owner of Abolish, a national parents' rights organization which is dedicated to protecting full informed consent and the right to refuse psychiatric services. Matthews says these red flag laws are a red herring, are a distraction from the real concerns that need to be addressed, since they're a common denominator in many of these mass shootings. What is that? Psychiatric drugs. Many of these school shooters were taking psychiatric drugs at the time the crime was committed. The 2005 Red Lake, Minnesota school shooter was taking Prozac at the time of that one. Abolish submitted a written request to the U.S. Attorney for the District of Minnesota, as well as the FDA, requesting a full investigation into the event. In 1999, one of the Columbine shooters, Eric Harris, was taking the antidepressant Luvox. Fast forward to the Las Vegas concert shooting in 2017, where the autopsy found that shooter Stephen Paddock had anti-anxiety medication in his urine. Pharmaceutical companies and the mental health industry take zero responsibility for the link between psychiatric drugs and mass shootings. After Sandy Hook, New York passed the Secure Ammunition and Firearms Enforcement Act, the New York SAFE Act. Abolish's other co-founder, Patricia Weathers, testified against certain mental health provisions she believed to be subjective, stating, "We believe that the issue of gun control is diverting this country away from the very real underlying cause of these violent shootings occurring in our nation's schools." The New York SAFE Act passed without any public hearings and included a provision similar to red flag laws that allowed mental health professionals to report to the government on whether a patient could potentially turn violent in the future. The scary thing is, these red flag laws are getting bipartisan support. like the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, is just another shovel digging the grave of American liberty under the pretense of providing security. That concludes our program for today. If your right to keep and bear arms is important to you, make sure to subscribe to the New American Magazine and get on the Top Daily Headlines mailing list so that you get an email alert anytime that we upload a video or stream a live event. And share these videos with your family and friends. You've been watching Two Way for Today. My name is Zoe. Thank you for watching Two Way for Today.
They say I'm part of a global plan. I don't think so. It's too hot, it's too cold. You know what? The weather changes.
Here's the news, Dad.
Nope. It's hard to tell what's real and what's fake these days.
Ditch the fake news and always get the truth. Go to thenewamerican.com.